Hello and welcome to the Racing Gambit on the Sports 2.0 network, presented by USAWager.com. We've got a massive show for you this week, previewing some races on the Kentucky Derby Trail and also my personal favourite highlight of the year, the Cheltenham Festival. But Ace, how excited are you this week to talk about Cheltenham to begin with?
I'm so excited to talk about Cheltenham and all the chalk I'm going to be taking and all the undefeated horses I'm going to be taking. But we are getting the Derby picture is starting to form, and we're very happy to see who's coming out on top as of right now. Would you agree?
Oh yeah, that is exactly where we'll start. We'll start with the latest Kentucky Derby odds because I think we might be two of the smuggest co-hosts going when it comes to the Kentucky Derby at the moment, and we could become more smugger, I guess, the closer we get to May.
I couldn't agree more. And so I see you're showing odds on your side of the world over there, right? 16 to 1 on our Forbidden Kingdom, who we gave out at 150 to 1, and then again at 25 to 1. He's going to be installed as the 5 to 1 favorite in the pools that open up tomorrow here. I've seen him anywhere from 8 to 12 to 1 online, and we've got him at a massive price. Um, Forbidden Kingdom absolutely romped in his stakes. Simplification also looked very good against some worse in Gulfstream, and then we've got Classic Causeway going today we're going to preview today in the Tampa Bay Derby. I'm really thinking we got a really nice shot if the Bafferts stay out. If all the Bafferts stay out, we got a really good shot.
Yeah, I remember last week the one worry that we really had about Forbidden Kingdom was this is the first time he'd gone at this kind of distance, so that was always the issue where we didn't really know. But I mean, if anything, he wants more distance because he just kept pulling further and further and further away from the field. As soon as he turned on burners on, he weren't for catching, was he?
He shut it down before the last furlong. Like he ran about almost to a mile. He saw the finish line for a mile, even though the race was a mile and 16th, and then he just was all like, "Oh, I can walk it out here. Okay, I'm gonna walk it out," and no one gained on him when he was just like jogging. It's really something, and if he can get a mile and a 16th, why can't he get a mile and 3/16ths? I hope this horse goes to the lead and just runs away with it, but we've got to see what these Bafferts are doing because he's going to run back at Santa Anita and the Santa Anita Derby, and if Messier is going to be there, Messier's already beaten him, but it'll be an interesting race there.
Yeah, I suppose that would be very interesting to see him come back up against each other. But there's obviously no doubt that, well, we don't know yet if he's going to end up having these horses in the Derby. So it may even count for very little by the time we get there.
It's very true. We're already in with the number of points we have. We know we're going to be the speed of the race. So realistically, let's just get through the Santa Anita Derby. Let's not burn ourselves out, and let's see where we come where we are come Derby Day.
Yeah.
Also, the filly that we gave out, they are still talking about Secret Oath. They're still talking about having her run in the Arkansas Derby against the boys, and we've got her at 33 to 1 to win the Derby. I'm just saying, she's fast.
But we can hope we've got a few nice little anti-post bets going, and we can only hope that they're going to get. If they both line up, we're going to be happy, aren't we? It's going to make it interesting.
It's going to make it super interesting. They just got to get there. They just got to get there.
So we'll start this week then on the Kentucky Derby Trail with the Tampa Bay Derby over 1 1/16 miles with 50 Kentucky Derby qualifying points on the line. We've had two former Kentucky Derby winners running this before. We had Street Sense, I think, won it in 2007, and Super Save, I believe, finished second in 2010. As soon as I looked at this race, I was like, well, Classic Causeway is surely going to hack up because he was just so good in the Sam F. Davis.
I agree with you, and in all honesty, I see this as a two-horse race. The fact that Irad's staying aboard him, and this could be Irad's Derby horse, really does say a lot to me. And 8 to 5, I think he's going to be way shorter. I think he's going to be 4 to 5 when the odds go off. And realistically, the only horse that I think that can touch him is the Pletcher horse, the 8 Major General, who's going off at 5 to 1, 9 to 2 over here. Like, I don't see anyone else in this race, and I hate to be chalky. Now, mind you, that these are still young runners, right? Like, they, there could be someone to jump up and surprise, and then all of a sudden we're talking about them in the Derby, right? Because this is 50 Derby points, like you said, a lot of points, and then boom, you're off and running. I'm going to tell you right now, though, there's a horse that I think everyone should fade, and that's Shipsational. I don't care that they're 5, 6 to 1. I don't care that they're going to be the third choice. Manny Franco is not elite. I'm not afraid to say it. He's not elite. And they have 4 Kentucky Derby points. This is a horse that's going to get into the Derby and is going to be 60 to 1 because they got like 12 points coming out of like 3 preps. I don't like this horse. I don't like this horse's form. I don't like that he's coming down again and he's sticking around. Didn't show up that well in the Sam Davis. You know, and I think you're landing on a price here.
No, I mean, I'm still with Classic Causeway. I think, to be fair, the run that the Sam F. Davis was that dominant. There's a few in this that finished behind him, including Shipsational, which, I mean, you could chuck away straight away because that was over this distance at the same track. There is no way that anyone have progressed that much in the past, 3 weeks to get anywhere nearer to him.
Yeah.
Like you say, Major General is the main rival according to the odds. But still, like, his speed figure in the Iroquois was 83. And I mean, Classic Causeway ran a 104. So that is still a considerable, a lot. He's got to find so much to even get near him. And I just can't make it. That's why I kind of landed on a bit of a price to play underneath Classic Causeway. And that's Happy Boy Rocket. So we last saw he lost on Maiden over 7 furlongs, but then he was stepped up straight away to 1 1/16th at Gulfstream. He ran to a speed figure of 91. And I just think at a price, obviously there's no guarantee he's going to completely transfer that Gulfstream run over to Tampa Bay. But he's already proven he could do it over the distance. He's already recorded a better speed figure than the second favourite in the market. And I mean, I think there's definitely a bit of juice in that price, I think.
Yeah, and to your point, like, you finished third first out, right? You never know what a horse is going to do first out. They don't even know what they're supposed to do, right? I think Happy Boy Rocket, sits third or fourth and then takes a run. And to your point, I can see that one as a price taking second or third, right? 12 to 1. I hear you. Going back to Major General, yeah, he won the Iroquois 2 for 2 so far in his career, but we haven't seen him since September. So he could be a complete fade for some people because we haven't seen him. Or he could just run off the charts and be all like, oh no, I'm really good going from 2 to 3. It's going to be...
I'm normally a bit like that. I think if you don't see them for so long,
yeah,
you need to see them at least once before kind of thinking, oh yeah, they've probably got this, especially against someone of the caliber of Classic Causeway. He's not going to come back from what 6 months ish off, and come and beat up one of the main players for the Derby. No, not a chance. Not happening.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying. I just think this race is pretty chalky, but I do like your long shot underneath. I think you take a young horse who doesn't know what he's doing yet. You just throw him in against the best and see what happens, right? Like, we don't know until we know. And with everyone having these big Derby dreams, it completely makes sense to say, you know what? We'll see here, right? And if that horse completely fades, be like, okay, we have a nice allowance or a low-level stakes horse, right? Not the end of the world.
Yeah, I think I'm excited to see Classic Causeway again. I really enjoyed his performance in the Sam F. Davis before, and I think he's probably going to win this. And I'm going to take the long shot. I forgot his name now. Happy Boy Rocket underneath in second.
I'm with you all the way.
There we go. Then sorted that one out. Shout out to the Azeri Stakes then, which is over 1 1/16 miles for the filly and mares at Oakland Park. I think this is quite an exciting kind of renewal of this because we've got a load of fillies in here that we haven't seen yet this year. And I mean, you've got She There's a Devil, you've got CC, you've got Pauline's Pearl. I think this is a really fun kind of race, to be fair.
I completely agree, especially because, to your point, we haven't seen any of these run in some time. And it's something's got to give here with the You got She's There's the Devil. She's 5. You got Cece, who's upset the Breeders' Cup and ruined a lot of people's days. Not mine. I didn't have her, but still had a lot of winners that day. And then you got Pauline's Pearl, who's shipping in, who looks really good coming in, right? Looks really good. So you say to yourself, do you go with the class? Do you go with the person who's riding the best lately? Right? Like where do you land here? And my thought process was, I want to take the new shooter. I want to take Pauline's Pearl. They've won back-to-back races, with the last being a graded stakes. They get Joel Rosario on board. Steve Asmussen. I think their running style really suits. The only thing I'm worried about is if just She Dares the Devil just blows them off their feet and just runs away with it. But at oh my gosh, I can't even think of the name of the racetrack that we're at today. We're at Oaklawn Park in Arkansas. The track doesn't always favor speed, which is really nice because there's so many American tracks that do favor speed. I'm going to go Pauline's Pearl over She Dares the Devil. I think Pauline's Pearl chases her down. Where'd you land?
Yeah, I'm definitely along the same lines as you, because I think Pauline's Pearl over this distance in the Houston Ladies Classic in January, I think is a pretty good first marker in this, because I just feel like she's probably going to be the freshest one in here. And she won over this course and distance in April as well. Obviously, you go back to She Dares the Devil. She's 6 from 7 since finishing 3rd in the fancy over this distance. So she's all class, isn't she? So, yeah. I mean, it is tough. It is tough because I feel like I think you definitely know what you're going to get with She Dares the Devil, and I think you're going to get. She's going to come first or second. That's it. With Pauline's Pearl, I still think there could be a chance where she completely misses the board altogether. Because really? you just don't know. I think She Dares the Devil, I think, is the solid play.
Wow. And I don't blame you for landing there. She's got all the class. She's won the Kentucky Oaks. She's won other grade ones. And she's going to be on the lead. The only thing is, can she run all the way around? I'm so happy that she's back. Just first and foremost, turning 5 years old. She's not off to be a broodmare somewhere. I'm really hoping that she just keeps on kicking on, and we have a situation where you've got a really good crop for a whole season of these guys going against each other. I just think that last step up to win a graded stakes with Pauline's Pearl shows that she can compete on this level. And if she can compete on this level, and she has raced more recently than the other two, I think she's just in better form. So I'm going to go Pauline's Pearl, but I don't blame you going the Queen.
Yeah,
She Dares the Devil.
I mean, it's strange we haven't even spoke about the Breeders' Cup filly and mare sprint winner here. CC. I mean, she won the Apple Blossom over this course and distance as well, so that form is there. But I don't want to call it a fluke at the Breeders' Cup, but
the pace was so stupid. They went 21 and 44. Nobody was winning on the front end, and then Cece just chugs along and gets there.
Yeah, I can't see it here at all.
I can't see it either.
You watch, she'll bolt up this weekend now.
Yeah, for sure.
You're going Pauline's Pearl
over
She Dares the Devil. And I'll be going the opposite way around here.
Well, it's understandable.
So now this is the moment I've been kind of looking forward to, because we get to talk about the Cheltenham Festival. It's the biggest meet of the year in the UK. It's huge. We've got 28 races, 14 of them are grade ones, and we're going to begin by looking at the champion hurdle, which, I mean, it's a grade 1 over 2 miles, and I think this is pretty much a banker for most people of the day, and that is Honeysuckle, who is just unstoppable over hurdles. So I'm guessing this is where you landed with the filly as well.
you're getting plus money. Like you bet $2 and you might be getting $3. Take it to the bank. Like, are you kidding me? Like, this horse doesn't lose. They don't lose. So if they go off at 1-9, it wouldn't shock me, even in a big field. I do say that I appreciate you a lot, so I do appreciate it at 4-1. But at the same time, like, they don't have the form that Honeysuckle does, so I'm just going to go Honeysuckle all the way here. I think it's pretty chalky. Did you have any long shots that you liked?
I do like a long shot, but along the appreciated line, I get why people think that he's going to be the biggest danger here. I understand. He's 4 for 4 over hurdles, but we last saw him in the Grade 1 Supreme at the festival last year, so he hasn't ran for like way over 12 months by the time we get to next Tuesday. I mean, it's not impossible because he's trained by Willie Mullins, but against someone like Honeysuckle, who is she's blown away the competition. Like, I get why people want to make a case for someone like Appreciated, but I feel like if you're going to try and find something underneath, I would be looking at someone like Tommy's Oscar here, who is my each way pick in the champion hurdle. Okay. He's trained by Anne Hamilton. Anne Hamilton, I think the story is brilliant because she only trains a select couple of horses, and this is the first time she's taken a horse to the festival. I mean, at the minute, she's got 100% strike rate, but she's only had one runner in the past 2 weeks. So I don't think many other trainers can boast that kind of strike rate for good reason. He's won his last 4, including the grade 2 new one last time out, where he beat Global Citizen by 4 and a bit lengths. I think he's a bit of value in here. We don't know how he's going to hold up against these horses in this company because we're talking about proven graded 1 performers. But this horse could easily just cause a shock. I mean, if he finishes second or third, you get your money back off 33 each way anyway. So yeah. I'd be taking that. And the Hamilton team would be buzzing if Tommy's Oscar finishes second, let alone first.
I don't blame you, but I think it's a Honeysuckle, and I don't hate your each way play because right, you're looking to make money. You're not going to be doing it betting the favorite here.
No. I feel like Honeysuckle's probably it's the multiple bettors that I would playing Honeysuckle here, just kind of like boost that extra kind of bit of value into their bets. Yeah. But I'm presuming we're both on Honeysuckle here without much of a argument. But next up, we've got the Supreme Novices Hurdle, which is the grade 1. And this is the opening race of the festival on Tuesday. And I must admit, the atmosphere when this race starts on the Tuesday next week is going to be electric. It's the first day of the festival. We haven't had the festival for 2 years. And this race, I've written down there could be 4 potential superstars coming out of this because they are all at the top of their game. I mean, it could be 3 because there's been murmurs that Sir Gerhard's actually going to come out of this and go into the Ballymore, which is the following day. But that doesn't actually affect my pick because I've been pretty sweet on one of these for the whole year.
I'm ready for it.
Yes, I've been sweet on Constitution Hill since we first saw him this season. I think with these novice hurdlers, because they're all kind of running in similar races all the time, without coming up against much by the way of kind of competition, you're judging them mostly like visually. You're watching them thinking, oh, I can see how that horse is better than that horse. And Constitution Hill, I think, is it takes your breath away every time you watch him perform. And the fact that he's won on good to soft in December, where he won by 14 lengths. He won on heavy in the Tolworth early this year by 12 lengths. And I just think he's a superstar. And I'm really excited to see this horse on Tuesday.
I don't hate your pick. How could you? He's got to be the favorite, right? I'm going to go to another one that you are probably saying could be a superstar, and that's John Bond. 4 for 4 or 5 for 5. I'm not sure. Still perfect to your point. You don't know what they're racing against, right? They could just be all racing against absolute bums. But I'm going to take a shot there on John Bond, and I'm going to use my all way. So I'm going to do each way, all the time on John Bond. But yeah, it's hard to look at your horse's form and be all like, how is this horse not the favorite? How does this horse not run away with it? But then again, these are all babies, right? They just don't know yet. You don't know. So that's the fun part of this whole thing.
Yeah, I think John Bonner's been the horse this year where people have been kind of purring about him. He's a half brother to Duvan, who was a multiple festival winner during his days. Is the other one from the Henderson Yard as well. So Constitution Hill and John Bonner have been compared all the season because they're both trained by Nicky Henderson, and they are both. I mean, people seem to think this race is going to set the tone for the Brits this week. Because obviously we were battered last year by the Irish, and I think if this one goes the way of the Irish as well, it's probably going to be another long week for the British trainers. But the thing that I have, because obviously with Sir Gerhard coming out, which I thought was the biggest danger to Constitution Hill, with John Bonner and Dice at Dynamo, they looked uncomfortable when they were running in front of crowds, which is not going to be a good sign when we get to the opening day, where the atmosphere is just going to be. Yeah. I think the atmosphere is going to find them two out, and I wouldn't be surprised if something like I don't know, something a bit further down the mark, it sneaks one of them, Mighty Potter maybe to second or something.
That makes sense. Yeah, makes sense.
So yeah, you're landing on John Bon for the Super.
John Bon.
Yes. And I'll be sticking with Constitution Hill. Next up, then we got the Champion Chase, which I mean, for the purists, this is probably the biggest race of the week because you get to see the best chasers in the world on show over 2 miles. Nicky Henderson has produced, again with the Henderson link, Henderson has produced some superstars out of this race, including Altior Sprinter Sacra. But I think with Shishkin, he probably has the best horses ever trained here.
I like Shishkin a lot. And I also like Shakin Porsoy as my all way each way. Yeah, I hate to be chalky, right? But like looking at Shishkin's form, it's unbelievable. And what odds they're going to go off at, it's going to be really low. And then I do like Shakin Porsoy. I just like the recent form. I know it's not perfect, but at the same time, it's one of those things where if there's going to be an upset, I'd like to be in that 5 to 1, 8 to 1 range.
Yeah, I don't think Shishkin's for taking on here. 7 from 7 chasing. I mean, I remember sending you the link for the Clarence House when it was on early this year at Ascot, and I still stand by that was probably Energumen's chance to beat Shishkin because everything was in his favour. Shishkin went to Ascot, and there was murmurs that Henderson was going to pull him out because everything was stacked against him, and he still kind of gave Energumen a lead going over the last fence. And still smashed him by a length. I mean, I don't think Energumen's got this, and I'm not so keen on Shakin Porsoy either, purely for the reason of last year's Champion Chase. I don't. He can't get up the Cheltenham Hill, and I think that was kind of evident last year. I think it's just a bit of a bully around Leopardstown, to be honest. But I think it's a bit similar to the Honeysuckle race. Again, you're looking for a bit of value from somewhere. And I think Nube Negro is probably the one that's going to come second here. It's just based on his Cheltenham form. He won here in November and he was second in the Champion Chase last year. And he's probably the one that's going to come second here away from the Irish.
That's understandable. Let's move on to this finale. But yeah, I'm with you. That's a really special horse in this race. And if you're going underneath, you got options for sure. Yeah,
I mean, you could pick any one of them, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Stayers Hurdles next then. This is wide open. This is the one championship race this week where I'm having a lot of trouble with because I keep tossing and turning over who's going to win this, and they've all got pieces of form. So I'd be interested to see where you're heading with this one, Ace.
Paisley Park, 7 to 1. It rains a lot. Prince lived in Paisley Park. Purple Rain. It's going to rain down. Paisley Park is the winner in this race. That's what we call handicapping, boys and girls.
I see with Paisley Park. Paisley Park's run at Cheltenham last time out in the Cleve Hurdle was just. I don't think I've seen much like that before. He gave Champ a 10-length lead from the start. it kind of gave me a head start. I was like, you know what, I ain't got a problem. I'll catch you anyway. And he did. And he's still beaten by a couple of lengths. And I mean, going into that race, Champ was the favourite for this, and he was thrown straight out. It's been the Stayers division has been weird this year. We started the season with Florian Porter as the favourite because he won it last year. He was then knocked off top spot because he was beat by Classical Dream. And then Classical Dream was hammered by Will Kahala, who's actually going to the Mayor's Hurdle. So it is a mashup, and none of them are consistent. None of them. I think Florian Porter is probably the best out of the top bunch, but I was losing my head and I just went for one which is really out there. I think Melon at an each way price is really, really good value. She won last time over 2 miles 4 at Leopardstown by 6 lengths. She was pulled up in the Ryanair last year, granted, but her festival record is pretty. It's pretty great, but it's also very, very unlucky. He was second in the March last 2020, second in the Champion Hurdle the year before, second in the Champion Hurdle the year before that, and then second in the Supreme in 2017. He just loves it around Cheltenham. I mean, ages against him because a 10-year-old has not won this for decades, but his festival form is, I think it needs to be appreciated in this, and I think it's a weird race.
Yeah, especially at 20-1, right? You're talking about, in each way with that. So I don't blame you one bit. Paisley Park won on my birthday too. So I'm just saying, like, last one out was on my birthday. There's a lot of connection. You got to follow the signs.
That's definitely a sign then. It's Paisley Park that's storming home in this.
That's right.
Yeah, so finally then we've got the feature of the week, which is the Cheltenham Gold Cup. This is the blue ribbon event of the National Hunt season. I mean, obviously we've got the Grand National coming up as well, which is the most famous race. But the Gold Cup is the race where trainers and jockeys, this is the one that they want to win at the beginning of the season. It's a grade one. You've got legends such as Denman, Corto Star, Arkle, and Best Mate have won this in the past. Anyone that watches this show, Ace, will know that we love an anti-post bet. And I have got probably one of our best anti-post bets going for the last couple of years in this. Because I managed to get 33-1 on Galvin, and I'm very, very sweet on that. I'm almost excited about cashing it in at the moment.
I wouldn't blame you one bit. They were my second choice in this race. Yeah, at 7-2, right? Like, I like Galvin a lot. The recent form, a win, a place, a win. The only horse that I did look at that I thought was a bit of an overlay was Protectorat. I was thinking of an each way there as well. Good recent form in back-to-back races, and I think like 7-1's a bit of an overlay. But I think this is going to be a really interesting race.
Yeah, the Gold Cup is always it's a very weird it's a absorbing race because the conditions normally by the Friday are just awful. It normally rains the whole day, so like it is just so grueling. And I normally the classiest horse wins this, and I just think Galvin, he just ticks every single box.
Yeah.
So obviously he ran in the Savills Chase, which he beat. Who'd he beat in that? A Plutard, who, for the love of me, I can't understand why he's favourite because he just can't get up that hill. And then he finished ahead of Mililuinda, who's the reigning champ at Down Royal, where he's beaten by Frodon, who just went on a mad one and just front run the hell out of it, which I still think was a good second. And obviously won at the festival last year. I just think he ticks every single box that you're looking for here, and I could see him. I could see him winning this. I'm not saying he's going to go to the Grand National, but he still holds an entry. I mean, we could see history made, but I highly doubt it.
I don't blame you one bit. I hope you get to cash every bit of that 33-1.
Oh, I love it. I do think probably the each way one here is probably Albion Photo. He's won the race twice, and he was fourth again last year. I mean, he's getting on a bit, but he's going to definitely make it home.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, I hope you enjoy going for the Cheltenham races, Ace.
Very much so. I love hopping across the pond for a few races here and there.
Yeah. So, what's your best bet for the next 7 days? And you can include your Cheltenham bets if you want, or you can stick with the tried and tested.
Paisley Park, hands down. In the Stayers Hurdle, Paisley Park.
Yeah, my best bet for next week. Actually, we haven't even spoke about the race. My best bet is Hillcrest in the Albert Bartlett. I think Hillcrest is a potential superstar. And he was declared yesterday, and I got him at 20-1 earlier in the year. I just think he is. I'm excited to see him. He's a massive, massive beast. He's got an overall rating of 139, and he won at Haydock last time. He just hammered the field there. The only worry he unseated his rider back in January, which come just a couple of weeks after he had won at Cheltenham as well. But I think he's going to put a bit of a marker down for Henry Daly at Cheltenham on next week, and I'm pretty excited to see it.
I'm excited just for some great racing, man.
Yeah, I'm excited for it too, Ace. Well, that just about rounds it up for this week. Ace, thank you very much for your time. Thank you very much for joining us, and we will be back next week to preview the race in action then. Until then, thank you very much and have a good weekend.
Like and subscribe.
Bye.